Hi everyone, this is the 162nd video of the ACT Math Practice Problem series, and here we have another interesting problem from trigonometry. As I always recommend, before seeing the solution you can pause the video and give it a try yourself, and after that of course you want to match with my solution. So let's get started. Here the question says 1 plus cotangent of theta minus cosecant of theta multiplied by 1 plus tangent of theta plus secant of theta is equal to which of the following 5 options? So our expression is like this. Let me first write it down. 1 plus cotangent of theta minus cosecant of theta multiplied by 1 plus tangent of theta plus secant of theta. Now can we write it like this? We are now going to write them in terms of sine theta and cosine of theta. So it would be 1 plus cosine of theta over sine of theta minus this should be 1 over sine of theta. Alright, and the second factor is like this, 1 plus we can write it as sine of theta over cosine of theta, that's the tangent of theta, plus 1 over cosine of theta. And now we are starting to see a pattern, right? Let's try to simplify this a little more. For the first one, what is the LCM here? Well, LCM is obviously sine of theta, so we can write sine of theta here in the denominator. And then over here the first term would be 1 times sine of theta, so that would be sine of theta plus cosine of theta and minus 1. And the second factor is also going to look kind of similar. The denominator will be cosine of theta, that's the LCM there. And then over here it would be 1 times cosine of theta, so that would be cosine of theta plus sine of theta plus 1. And now if we rearrange this a little bit, in the denominator we can say sine of theta times cosine of theta, and in the numerator we have two factors there and they can be written like this. We can say sine of theta plus cosine of theta minus 1, and if we enclose them in parenthesis like this, parenthesis and bracket, we can write it like this. Then on the second factor again we can say this is sine of theta plus cosine of theta plus 1. So now in the numerator you can see that this is looking like something minus 1 times the same thing plus 1, right? So that's like a minus b times a plus b. If we consider sine of theta plus cosine of theta as a, and if we consider 1 as b, then it is like a minus b times a plus b, and that would be a square minus b square, right? So we can write it as, and if we simplify this, we are going to get something like this. So if we remove the parenthesis and if we do the whole square there, so that would be sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta plus 2 times sine theta times cosine of theta, and minus 1 squared is 1 divided by sine of theta times cosine of theta. And now if you carefully look at it, we have sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta, that is actually equal to 1. This quantity is one of the Pythagorean identities. It says that sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So now I am going to write 1 in place of that, so that is 1. Then plus 2 times sine of theta times cosine of theta and minus 1 over sine of theta times cosine of theta. And now you see the 1 and 1, they're going to cancel each other, the positive 1 and the negative 1. So we are now left with 2 times sine of theta times cosine of theta divided by sine of theta times cosine of theta. And again the sine of theta and sine of theta, they will cancel each other. Cosine of theta and cosine of theta, they will also cancel each other, and we are essentially left with 2. And that is our answer. And if you look at our answer options, we have 2 under option K. We can clearly see right here 2 under option K. So option K would be the correct option. I hope everything made sense. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.